On September 15, 1935, at the annual Nazi Party gathering in Nuremberg, Germany, the Nuremberg laws were created. The laws were created to Aryanize Germany. The laws prevented Jews from being citizens and from having sexual relationships with Jewish people and with non-Jewish Germans. The laws targeted practicing Jews and even people who came from Jewish families who had since converted to Christianity. In 1937 and 1938, the Nazis ramped up the severity of the laws by setting out to impoverish Jewish people. The way they did this was firing Jewish people from their jobs and replacing them with non-Jewish Germans. This was called Aryanizing a business, and they also would buy Jewish-owned companies for a way lower price than what was fair. In Germany, it was mandatory that all people carry an ID, but after the Nuremberg laws were put into place, all practicing Jews and all people of Jewish descent had to get a large red J stamped onto their IDs. And if they were not visibly Jewish, they had to get a new middle name on their IDs, like Israel for men and Sarah for women. On October 18, 1935, marriage laws were put into place called the Law for Protection of Hereditary Health of the German People. This law required people to obtain a marriage license in order to get married, which Jews were obviously not able to do. This law was put into place to stop Jewish people from passing on their, quote, hereditary disease, and this law was also put in order to stop gypsies from marrying as well as black people.
Lots of individual Jewish and non-Jewish resisted the Nuremberg laws in small ways. Many refused to conform, often ending in punishments by authorities. Others boycotted business that outwardly discriminated against Jews, but there were two large organizations willing to take a stand against the unjust Nuremberg laws.
In September of 1933, an organization called Reichsvertretung der Deutschen, translating to the Reich Representation of German Jews, was formed to promote Jewish self-help during Nazi reign. The organization provided legal help to Jewish individuals, as well as the Jewish community, to take whatever legal action was still available to stop the Nazis. By the time the Nuremberg laws came into effect, a Jewish organization like Reichsvertretung der Deutschen Juden had almost no legal power against the Nazis, so they resorted to helping Jews in other ways. They distributed welfare, provided shelter locations, food, and clothing for Jewish families suddenly impoverished or put out of work by the Nuremberg laws. The organization also organized basic vocational schooling for Jews, the only education allowed for Jews at the time, as well as immigration efforts to safe countries for Jews. Through the help and resistance of the Nuremberg laws through Reichsvertretung der Deutschen, Jews were able to stay on their feet and have a sense of normalcy during such a difficult time. The legal help the organization provided was tremendously helpful as well. It made Jews feel less helpless against the Nazis and as though they still had a voice. In this way, the Reichsvertretung der Deutschen gave Jews a glimmer of hope during a very dark time. Another large example of resistance to the Nuremberg laws, as well as the Nazis as a whole, was the boycott of the Berlin Olympic Games of 1936. The Games, to be hosted by Nazi Germany only a year after the Nuremberg laws were put into action, was an opportunity for the Nazi regime to show their power and prestige through a large worldwide event. The regime took the event as a propaganda opportunity, sparing no expense to build sparkling new stadiums, sports complexes, and an Olympic village, all adorned with towering swastika and Olympic ring flags. However, the Nazis conveniently removed all anti-Jew signs from the city, hoping to create an illusion of acceptance and normalcy to the rest of the world. The event was a chance for the Nazis to show the world what a great country Germany was becoming under their rule. They promoted the image of a strong, united, and peaceful country while covering what was actually happening. Some countries were not so foolish to believe this, however. America, Great Britain, France, Sweden, Czechoslovakia, and the Netherlands knew what was going on and how Jews were being treated under the new laws. They planned to boycott the Nazi Olympics, even planning their own counter-Olympics called the People's Olympiad in Barcelona. But Americans' plan to boycott ended when the AAU, Amateur Athletic Union, voted majority to send Team USA to the Games. Some of the other smaller countries, however, stuck with their plan to boycott, as well as individual athletes, Jewish and non-Jewish. These boycotters helped send a message to Hitler's regime that there were a sizable amount of people and organizations who were strongly opposed to the Nuremberg laws and his plans for Germany's future. These brave people were willing to give up victory and fame to send the message of what they believed was right.
The Nuremberg laws brought upon a very dark time for Jewish people in Germany. However, the brave individuals and organizations willing to stand up and resist made a difference. Their efforts, as small as they may have been, showed Hitler and his regime that not everyone agreed with them and that they would not go down without a fight.